roll call, we've got everybody except Deb. Additions to the agenda, we have number 26 under products and numbers 10 and 11 under personnel, and we are going to pull up from the agenda item number 9 under personnel. Correct? Okay. So I entertain a motion to adopt the agenda. Motion by Gretchen. Second. Second by Dave. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, District 741 is proud of the following students for earning West Central Conference All-Conference Track and Field Honors. Patrick Haft, grade 12, high jump. Carrie Haft, grade 10, 100-meter hurdles, 300-meter hurdles, triple jump, and long jump. Promise Butler, grade 8, 1,600-meter run, and 3,200-meter run. Caitlin Morozic, grade 9, pole vault. Melena Morozic, grade 12, 4x100-meter relay. Rachel Rittenhouse, grade 11, 4x100-meter relay. Rebecca Jimenez, grade 8, 4x100-meter relay. And Whitney Kincaid, grade 11, 4x100-meter relay. The following students for earning WCC Honorable Mention Track and Field Honors. Rachel Rittenhouse, grade 11, 100-meter hurdles. Rebecca Jimenez, grade 8, 300-meter hurdles. Robert Granville, grade 11, 300-meter hurdles. Melena Morozic, grade 12, pole vault, and Alex Whitcomb, grade 11, pole vault. Carrie Haft, grade 10, for her first place finish in 100-meter hurdles in subsections and qualifying for the section meet. Rachel Rittenhouse, grade 11, for her third place finish in 100-meter hurdles in subsections and qualifying for the section meet. Ryan Lee, grade 8, for her fourth place finish in 100-meter hurdles in subsections and qualifying for the section meet. Carrie Haft, grade 10, for her first place finish in 300-meter hurdles in subsections and qualifying for the section meet. Promise Butler, grade 7, for her second place finish in the 1,600-meter run in subsections and qualifying for the section meet. Carrie Haft, grade 10, for her second place finish in the high jump in subsections and qualifying for the section meet. Carrie Haft, grade 10, for her second place finish in the triple jump in subsections and qualifying for the section meet. Robert Granville, grade 11, for her second place finish in the 300-meter hurdles in subsections and qualifying for the section meet. Alex Whitcomb, grade 11, for a second place finish in pole vault subsection and qualifying for the section. Bank of the West for their donation of funds to purchase stability balls in third grade. Carrie Haft, grade 10, for her second place finish in 100-meter hurdles and sections, qualifying for the state meet. Carrie Haft, grade 10, for her second place finish in the 300-meter hurdles and sections, and qualifying for the state meet. Carrie Haft, grade 10, for setting a new school record in 300-meter hurdles with time 46.64. Natasha Mead, grade 11, for advancing to the section golf meet. The following softball players for earning West Central Conference All-Conference Honors. Brooke Works, grade 11, Megan Schaefer, grade 11, and Kayla Schaefer, grade 9. Kayla Schaefer, grade 9, for being named to the all-section softball team. Sam Dahl, grade 10, for earning WCC Honorable Mention Honors in softball. Kurt Leeser Construction and Midwest Specialized Flooring for their donation of labor and concrete for the softball dugouts. Julie Youngs for being named Fan of the Year for the Bullrun Booster Club. Brad Scoglin and the Paynesville area baseball team for winning the West Central Conference North title. The following baseball players for earning the West Central Conference All-Conference Honors. Josh Bungham, grade 12, Casey Campson, grade 12, Anthony Pepin, grade 12, and Kyle Schmidt, grade 12. Nathan Meyer, grade 11, and Austin McAdams, grade 12, for earning WCC Honorable Mention Honors in baseball. And Josh Bungham for earning the West Central Conference Most Valuable Player in baseball. Finally, Carrie Haft, grade 10, for her fifth place finish in the 300-meter hurdles at the state track and field meets. And I understand she also got 9th place in the 100-meter hurdles, correct? So,
Well, another one.
yep, so another one. So nice job to everybody on all of those accomplishments. Okay. Public comment. Daryl Larson has.
Okay, I have a question that I'd like answered regarding the JCI settlement. And the question is regarding the $295,000 payment to JCI. My request is that each school board member answer the question: do you believe that the $295,000 amount was actually owed to JCI. And for answers, I'm just looking for a simple answer. You can answer yes, no, or I don't know. And if you want to, you know, explain your position beyond that after you answer the question, that's at your own discretion. And I'd request that that be a roll call of answers so that each school board member could answer that question. But that's the one question, and then I want to make a request for information as to the mediated agreement that you signed and agreed to. The document, I request that you would make it available so that anybody in the Paynesville community public could look at it, including me.
Okay, thank you, and we'll address that next meeting. And we move on to approve and correct the minutes from the May 22nd, 2012 regular board meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, motion by Dave to approve. Second by Lou. Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have one item on the consent agenda, and that is to review and consider approval of entering into negotiations with Max and our activities director and Donnie, our buildings and grounds supervisor. Lou? Yep, motion by Lou,
Second.
and second by Mark. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. Number one under business, review and consider approval of the revised 2011-12 revenue and expenditure budgets.
So exhibit A in the packet, nothing has changed from the last board meeting where we took a look at that. We did make some nice improvements. Most of the improvements were made in the area of utilities and maintenance. We didn't spend much, about $200,000 better as far as the deficit. And this would be the one that approved tonight that Al would compare the actual to this one, the last one that we approved. So I recommend approval of that.
So moved.
Bob? Motion by Bob,
Second.
second by Dave. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number two, review proposed 12-13 revenue and expenditure budgets.
Okay, not looking for approval tonight, but we're in June 26th meeting. This is the first budget that Joel and I and Teresa put together. You take a look at the overall revenues, 10.7, and the expenditures at 11. So it's a deficit budget of $312,000. The general fund is deficit by just under $200,000. Food service is deficit by $21,000. Community ed is positive by 11, and the capital is deficit by the 140. Some of the reasons for that, the capital is down. Just last year we levied $128,000. This year only 44. So that's part of the reason for the capital being down. In food service, we're redoing the hood. I'm not quite sure how much that's going to be health and safety, but if you go to the cafeteria or the kitchen out here, it's tore apart, we're putting a new hood out there. So, but much better than last year's budget. Last year's budget was 580 full budget. So, but I would recommend that we still look at cuts for the following year. But that cutting $240,000 is very good. And looking at fund balance, of course, this is worst case scenario once again, but at the end of 2013, general fund balance being about just a little under $300,000. You know, take a look at that, if you have questions, in the next couple weeks, give me a holler, take a look at that.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for Todd at this point? All right. We will move on to hear from Dawn.
I put together two different things. You should have a summary sheet that was given to you, and I'm going to kind of go off of that. I also put together a PowerPoint that I'm not going to go through the whole thing because I think we're going to use it probably in the fall. And as I was doing one thing, I figured I'd do them all together. But there are a couple of charts that I don't know if you'll be able to turn and see, but when they come up, we'll give it to you.
Tab all.
Alt tab.
Yep, you go ahead and run it.
With this, when we go through here, the first thing that we look at is why do we have the multiple measurement rating, MMR? And when I first said it, everybody at the faculty meeting said we all got our shots. You know, the doctor thing. But what happened was that there have been 11 states that have been approved to change the requirements or get a waiver from the No Child Left Behind. Minnesota was one of them. There are a lot of things that are going to stay the same, a lot of things that are going to be different. The big thing is it's not just going to be test results anymore. Testing is still going to be very, very important, but it is not the only thing. They're going to measure how well we are educating our kids on 4 different things. We're going to have the proficiency, that's going to be the test results. That's going to stay in place. We're going to have to continue to do that. We're also going to have to see, we're going to look at student growth. How do the students go from one year to the next? And that's something that they haven't done before, because they would go 7th graders the next year, 7th graders, rather than following those kids all the way through. And I think that is a great thing that we've come up with. And then the big thing would be 2.3 underneath the multiple measurements, and that's the achievement gap. And when they're talking about the achievement gap, how do those other groups of kids, our students of color, our students that are in poverty, our students that are receiving special services, do as compared to the white regular education kids? And that's where the biggest gap is in Minnesota. Minnesota is recognized as one of the highest states in the nation as far as that gap is concerned. And when we look at it, that's really hard for a school our size and a school like Paynesville, because 1 or 2 children in that category is going to be huge as far as our achievement gap. So we need to look at that. And then we're also looking at the graduation rate as far as high school is concerned. I'm going to quickly flip through a couple of these here. There are, as listed in that handout, there are 5 categories of schools that are going to be identified. Right now there are only 3. You can be a reward school if you're in the upper 15% in the state as far as performance, and those schools are going to be celebrated by the state. We can be a focus school, like we are recognized or designated at the elementary level, or we can be a priority school. The focus schools are going to have the extreme achievement gap, and as I said, it's not a lot of kids for us, it's just a few. But we contribute to that achievement gap percentage across the state. And then the priority schools are the ones that in all the categories combined with the rating system score the lowest 5% of the schools. In August, they're going to come out with a new rating, but it won't change us. And that's one of the things that's really kind of unfair about this whole system. And they're adding 2 other categories. They're adding celebration schools, so just below the reward schools, and they're adding an area called continuous improvement. The initial designation came out for priority schools, the lowest 5%. Focus schools, those that are 10% that are contributing greatest to the achievement gap, and reward schools. And we are stuck with that designation because of the way the system is set up. And it's based on 2010-11, or 2009, 2010, or 2010, 2011 results. So we had no way to fix that before this new system came in. So it's on old data. Okay? So it's not looking at what we've done. When we look next at what does it mean for Paynesville, is going to be kind of one of the things that we want to look at here. This one shows the numbers, the category numbers for, and you don't have that one because it's when you take, you've got 4 areas, they give you a percentage and then figure out, or give you a score of up to 25 points for each category, and then figure out your percentage. The Paynesville scores are on the left, as I look at them, and then the Minnesota Target scores are on the right for elementary. RT stands for a reward school. CI is going to be the continuous improvement. So that's kind of that minimum number we would have to be at. And the FR is the focus grading. That is their goal for everybody to get there. As we look at it, the only school that we got a designation for was the elementary school, because that's the only school that receives Title I funds. And it only goes to Title I schools as far as the ranking is concerned. But a lot of schools, and we should also look at it, are looking at their other schools that don't receive the title funds and see where you fit. And I kind of pulled some numbers, and I didn't put it in here, but for our surrounding schools, our high school ranks highest out of ACGC, New London, Eden Valley Watkins, Melrose, Sauk Center, and Albany, as far as our overall MMR score. So we've got a lot of things to be positive about, and it's just working our way through. But what else does it mean? Those numbers, what does it do for us? Whoops, I should go back to that one. Here are the rules that they have set up. How do you get out of the designation that they have? If you're a priority school, and we're not, you need 2 consecutive years out of the bottom 25%. Focus school is where we are, 2 consecutive years out of the bottom 25% on the focus rate. And then priority or focus, you have a quick get out if you improve greatly. If you would go from a priority or a focus school to a reward school in 1 year. And if you do that, you better bundle it. You better figure out how to take whatever you're doing and sell it to everybody else, because you're doing an extraordinary job with it. The other things that are on here that it tells us is we will have to create a school improvement plan by September 1. That's our deadline. They give us 90 days. We've already had a first meeting with the representative from the Regional Center for Excellence, and that would be Sue Burris. And we need to do a couple of things to get there. One of the first things is we have to do another comprehensive assessment survey. We can't use it when we have to start over. And we've talked about sending that out via email and getting as many teachers to fill that out. Then we have to have a committee, again, because everything works with a committee, and create the school improvement plan that we can get to them well about a week and a half before that September 1st deadline. And then the big thing with it is that unlike the plans that we've done in the past when we didn't make AYP, we kind of turned it in and worked really hard and had some semantics that went on and it got approved, and it kind of got pushed to the wayside. What they're telling us is it's going to be followed because it's a 3-year plan. And they're going to come out and check, and we're going to monitor, and we're going to implement, and we're going to evaluate if we're doing what we're supposed to do. So that, I think, is a good thing, rather than we have to spend all this time writing, putting it down, doing parts of it, and not ever knowing if anybody really does anything other than look at our test results at the end. So we have it. The other things that are in place because of this is that 20% of the Title I monies have to go towards the school improvement plan. So that's going to be a budget consideration. We also will see that the new designation with the new data will come out in August, but it will not change our initial designation. We could have the best test scores in the world, and we're still going to be a focus school. So it's one of those where there's a lot of frustration with schools in our position and schools that are priority schools because it's old data. We didn't know what the rules were going to be as we went in. Things to remember, positive things. First, or different things on the last point there. A small school, a couple of kids are going to be in that subgroup, and it's going to create that gap. So I don't think we need to look at it and go, oh my goodness, we are a focus school. That is a major, major problem. We have a smaller group of kids to work with. We can focus our efforts because our cell size that they're dealing with is small. The other thing is The designation won't change, we just have to remember that. So we have to do a really good job in August saying, this is what our designation was in May. Here's what we did in the last school year and the successes that we had. And we're gonna see a lot of them that are gonna be in place, and I've got some math results that are available. Gray line is our 2010-2011 scores, so that would have been used in the calculation for this. The orange lines are everything that we did this year, because we've got the math score, the preliminary math scores. And if you look at the differences in grade levels, and it's grades across the bottom, there was only 1 year where we saw a decrease as far as how the kids did. But the better thing to look at that is that orange line would have been our gray line as 6th graders the year before. So they went from about a 28% up to a 54%. And we have to applaud what we're doing at all those levels and understand that we're on the right track. So that, I think, is really a good demonstration of how we were actually working our plan before. And then the last thing there is we need to, make sure that we all take joint ownership and understand that it can't be just write it and leave it alone. And we're doing a good job. We just need to look at those small groups that are students of color, students in poverty, and that's where our biggest group comes in, our free and reduced lunch, and our special ed population. That's what I've got. Any questions?
So the takeaway from this is we have to do a good job reporting.
Yes, we do. And we need to, we need to continue what we're doing at all levels instead of saying, for me, instead of me saying I've got 75% of my class that's getting it, I need to maybe focus a little bit more on those kids that are struggling a little bit more. And I think that as teachers, we do that, but now we know that there's a focus coming in, and we'll have to.
So are we gonna become more like special ed programs where we have to have more time reporting than teaching?
I think that there's that delicate balance. I think that the testing is not going away, but I think the testing is going to become easier because of the fact that it's going online, and with our new computer system and everything, it's going to be better. We have, with the math this year, we had multiple opportunities to take the test, and they took their best score. Next year, you'll have multiple opportunities to take the test, but you only get the final one that we take in the final window, but we get to practice with it. And I think that's something that was lacking before. We didn't get a good practice and a good attempt at what to expect, because the previous practice tests that were out there were so unlike the actual tests that the kids were taking. And we'd ask them, how was the practice test compared to what you did? And like, it didn't have anything on it.
The kids commented on that too. They said that their anxiety levels were much less after getting used to what was expected of them.
At the elementary level, probably in your level too, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, each time they took the test, scores went up in probably 98% of the students. Their first test, from their first to their third, there was a significant increase. And that really did show that anxiety was there, when you're first taking it, and then it gave us an opportunity to focus on some of the areas that were weaknesses for individual students. And so when they can improve, we had some great, we had students go from not meeting to exceeding, and it's just fantastic. But it was because we're taking a practice test that is similar to the actual test that they were taking, and it really, but the teachers did a great job of focusing on the areas that the students were deficient in.
The other nice thing about the new process of testing is we get immediate feedback. So we'll have to wait this time until August to get the reading results back, but we got the test, and usually within an hour we had the test, and we could pull down, and this is the area that the kids needed work on. And we were able to do some good decision making based on information, based on data. I know talking to the math teachers, they said it was awesome because we got to look at it and understand that we didn't quite get to that when they took it the first time, and we did poorly on it, so we spent more time focusing our instruction on it. I don't know, I don't think that that is specifically teaching to the test, but it's teaching the concepts the way we need to do it.
Thank you for deciphering this.
Yeah. And if anybody's interested in the PowerPoint, I can send it to you. This is just the synopsis of it. There's some data stuff as far as the numbers are in place, the calculation process. I'm not sure I still quite understand how they come up with the percentage. Each category is 25 points. I'm not sure how they come up with the 25 points is the problem that I have right now. And then they figure out the percentages from there.
Thanks, Tom.
Okay,
Yep.
thanks, Okay, number 4, review and consider approval of adult basic education's continued membership with Glacial Lakes Consortium for the 12-13 school year.
Sorry, I just didn't computer back.
Oh, okay.
We're
1 second.
Give it a minute, don't. Okay, that's exhibit C in your packet. We've been with the Glacial Ridge for the last 6-7 years now, and it's been a good working relationship. Matt has said it's working out very well for adult basic ed, and wishing to continue that for the 12-13 school year.
Okay, we have a motion from Dave,
Second.
second from Bob. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 5, review and consider approval of resolution declaring intention to reimburse for expenditures from financing proceeds.
Okay, it's exhibit C1 in your packet. Tech Check is requesting payment for the portion of our computer lab upgrade this summer. In the past, we've always paid that after July 1. What this resolution does is allows us to go ahead and pay Tech Check, and then American Capital will pay our lease. Instead of reimbursing Tech Check, they will reimburse the school district on that. It's basically what it's saying. We've had your querying our attorney go ahead and draft that up, put together. It's been reviewed by our council, and should be good to go. Just a little different working with American Capital than HB in the past.
They used to wait until after.
Yeah, or they pay it for us right away. American Capital will not pay until after July 1. So basically, it's just saying that they're going to reimburse us instead of Tech Check.
For that first payment.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
Okay, motion by Dave,
Second.
second from Lou. Any further discussion? And no, I call it roll.
Bob,
Aye.
Dave Burns,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Deb,
Aye.
Jay Johnson,
Aye.
Gretchen, Lou.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to personnel, review and consider approval of resignation letter from Tim Whaler, head wrestling coach, effective immediately.
And it's decided to hang up the wrestling. Part of his boy graduated this year.
So moved.
Motion by Deb, second by Dave. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 2, review and consider 2-year agreement on support staff handbook.
Okay, you should have received the contract with all the markups. There wasn't much language changes other than changing dates. What happened was year 1, in groups 10 and 12, we went ahead and added a step that had 8 steps. We added another one, step 9, 30 cents for that step, and a $400 stipend to those people on the top step who weren't getting the step. Year 2, step, and then $500 stipend to those on the top. Looks very familiar to the other
discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 3, review and consider approval of resignation letter from Mike Emeslagi, 6th grade teacher, effective June 1, 2012.
Mike has accepted a position in the neighboring district, and wish him well, we're gonna miss him.
What position is he at there? What's he gonna be teaching in Valley?
I believe it's high school.
It's a combination, middle school, high school. But he was more interested, I mean, it was an interest because of it's into the higher level social studies. We'll miss him.
So moved.
Motion by Dave, second by Deb. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 4, review and consider approval of resignation letter from Terry Davidson, Title I paraprofessional, effective May 31st, 2012.
Terry is going to be, still working within our district, but the reading corps grant that Dave, got earlier this year, she's gonna be doing that program. We don't pay her, but she'll be working with our district, so, looking for a new challenge. We wish her well.
So moved. Motion by Mark, second by Lou. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 5, review and consider approval of the following staff members who will be teaching the summer PATS program. Jennifer Wertz, Kim Jones, Sarah Goals. Okay, Goals. Robin Spade, Tammy Maher, and Diane Schultz.
This is paid out of targeted services, so the cost of the district money being reimbursed for the number of kids that are there. They're ranging anywhere from 32 hours up to 63 hours.
So moved.
Motion by Bob, second by Gretchen. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 6, review and consider approval of Diana Donay, elementary teacher, effective August 28th, 2012.
I included in your packet, just a list of what Dave has done at the elementary, who's going to be teaching kindergarten through grade 5, and then the Title I program. Then on the back of that, there's a short bio of 3 new hires. Diana, she's a Kimball graduate, 5th grade teacher, St. Mary's, St. Cloud, and graduated from St. Cloud State, which had a minor in math, so she's going to be the new 5th grade math teacher.
Dave, did you get a good number of applicants for?
I think we had 78.
Yeah.
So moved.
Motion by Bob,
Second.
second by Deb. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Review and consider approval of Marie Growth. Growthy, okay. Thank you. Elementary teacher, effective August 28th, 2012.
She's a New London graduate. She's got a year of experience teaching Title I sport rate in Linville County West. Graduated from Concordia and Moorhead with her elementary ed and social studies emphasis. She's going to be doing the Title I program for us.
So moved.
Motion by Mark,
Second.
second by Lou. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 8, review and consider approval of Jeff Sawatsky, elementary teacher, effective August 28th, 2012.
He's a Boomer graduate, had a year experience teaching in Madison, South Dakota. Also graduated from Dakota State Madison with his elementary degree, and got a minor in K-12 reading and technology endorsement. And he'll be teaching 3rd grade and also was All-American cross country. He's a cross country track.
So moved.
Motion by Dave,
Second.
second by Deb. discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries. And on to number 10. Review and consider approval of Cal Anderson, summer special education band driver, approximately 4 hours per day, effective July 9th through August 2nd, 2012.
We have a student who will be attending summer school in Paynesville this summer, and Cal is willing to drive for us approximately 4 weeks, 4 hours.
So moved. Motion by Mark,
Second.
second by Lou. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And number 11, review and consider approval of resignation letter from Jody Omscheid, administrative assistant, effective June 22nd, 2012.
Just received that today. She's going back to school for HR, and she's accepted a position in St. Paul. I'm not sure what the company is, but it's a nice move up for her. She was great out here. We're really gonna miss her.
Motion by Mark,
Right.
second by Bob. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, we're moving to informational reports, and first up is Dave.
Not a whole lot. Just went through the hiring process and got that done before the end of the school year, which was good. And so that these people were able to come to school and pick up some of the curriculum materials and visit with some of the staff. We are just working on, just got report cards all mailed out, and the new reading series is filling up a full conference room, and we're sorting that out and getting ready for our in-service on that, which will be July 18th. And otherwise, we're just, we got new lights in the gym. It used to be a cave in that gym. If you went in there now, you'd be amazed at how bright they are. And they moved the switch so you can turn it on in the gym and not in the dark up in the stage, so that was really nice. We are in the process of tiling 2 rooms. The tile is removed, 2 rooms, I think, and then you're doing the rooms, so 3 total, but so tile's been removed, and they'll be working on that in the next week or 2. Cafeteria has been painted, and we're that's finished. And otherwise, we're just plugging along. I just noticed tonight that the computers were moved into the other computer lab, and so they're working on that and getting the wireless in right now. So, any questions at all for me?
Okay, thanks, Dave. Lori, next.
It slowed down a little bit. May was really busy. We had our middle school up day and then our 8th grade graduation, and Don and Tim Whaler and Todd Spanier did a nice job in sending those kids up with me. They always have a nice little kind of reward program before moving on into 9th grade, so that went really well. Our high school Fun in the Sunday was really exciting for the kids. It was nice to see them all be rewarded. Every advisory room made our goal for our food shelf drive, so they all got into this dodgeball tournament, and it was great to see them enjoying working with each other, working with staff within this tournament, and it became a huge positive climate builder in the building, which was really neat to see. There were shirts that said, you know, eating for, or that had just food drive type things, play ball for food or something, you know, different things, and it was neat to see. Our report cards are out, or I guess backing up, graduation was great. The kids really enjoyed it, had lots of kids come in this last week talking about graduation, how they enjoyed the ceremony and just everything that went along with it. Lots of parties are going on now, celebrating their graduation. I've been able to make quite a few of them, and so that was all good. Report cards are out, transcripts are finalized, our district Mars report was submitted in error-free. Dave and I both went to a legal meeting on Monday. One of the big discussions that they had was with technology and the laws that are kind of driving the use of different wireless pieces that are being brought into the school, and where is the school liable, and what are you responsible for, like on the discipline end, et cetera, and what do we say, no, that's not our territory, et cetera. But one overwhelming piece was the laws haven't caught up with the technology, you know, but it was good to hear. It was from our legal firm. They had a couple presenters that came out and talked about that, so it was good to hear. We had a discussion today with our West Central Ed District on where do we want our Beacon middle school and high school ALC programs to move, kind of what is the vision, you know, credit recovery, mental health, curriculum programming. So kind of started the discussion to look at seeing a change in 2013, 2014. So kind of looking at where are the needs of the district, and what types of programs do we need to develop either here in our home buildings or partner with our other districts to do. The other piece is we'll be going to the eye observation programming Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, which is both to build capacity in our staff as well as an evaluation program that can be used. It is web-based, but is a shoot-off of Charlotte Danielson, but a lot more detailed and a lot better in the sense of being able to give teachers, this is directly how I want to see you improve your instruction to help students. So really look forward to utilizing that program to its fullest, and Dave and I will be participating in that training Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So we'll be able to report back. Building projects are on their way. We probably have about 75% of the wireless and the computers done in this building. We've got the choir room is almost completely painted. The land trans classroom is going to be painted. And then we have 2 rooms that the carpet is being taken up and the tile is being put down, along with our locker room ceiling down in the boys' varsity locker room is going to be painted as well. And then in August, we're going to take the next 100 lockers coming down this hallway and replacing them with the new locks, or the new combinations. So we're on our way, and in between there, we'll get our floors done and everything else ready for next year. Any questions that you might have for myself?
Okay, thanks, Lori. Community ed report, Matt.
It's a very busy summer so far. These last couple weeks are when we really get things kicked off. We've got over 800 participants in our summer program registered so far, and we continue taking registrations throughout the program, throughout the summer. One interesting trend we're seeing is we're seeing more and more New London Spicer students and parents entering our entry-level t-ball and baseball programs because of our program format, which encourages parental involvement. And we even have some parents from there coaching within our programs. They're still kind of at the format which, when I first came here 13 years ago, they had, where it's just kind of high school students run the program, and it's kind of during the day. And they've been talking. We've had a couple come over and participate, and they tell their friends, and they've been kind of joining and coming over. So it's kind of an interesting phenomenon. So. We have many new programs this year. I gave you guys a brochure last time. We're really glad to have summer swim lessons at Paynesville and Suites. We haven't been able to offer summer lessons for years and years, and quite a few other preschool programs and other events. And our first concert in the park will be next Thursday, the 21st at 6 o'clock. So, any questions?
Okay. Matt. And Max, activity coordinator.
Since the sports seasons are over, things that I'm working on is that,
again, that participation policy that I made you aware of in the past, the handbook revisions. The Minnesota State High School League has a new requirement for their continuing education program for all the coaches, and starting this year, it was required that a head coach went through the continuing education program that the State High School League has on the coach's clipboard, and now it's a mandate that one coach per level. So like for our programs that have 3 levels of play in the high school, all 3 of those coaches would have to do that program. It is free of charge to our coaches, but it's just another thing that we have to make sure that we're staying on top of. Scheduling the impact testing, which is concussion technology for our athletes for next fall, winter. And what that is a baseline test, so supposed to be the norm, but a student athlete goes in and takes a test prior to any situation, and then if there's ever a time where it's questionable as to if they've had a head injury, then they take that test again. And the first test is why it's called the baseline, but it just is a baseline. It's a test that they compare the next test to, is reaction times and different things like that. Additionally, we're averaging over 20 high school students as well as some junior high students in our morning and evening strength and conditioning program that we've been running. So I don't know if anybody has any other questions for me.
Actually, who does that impact testing? Who does that? Local doctors or?
Yeah, we're gonna work with Julie Young's. She's got a connection that we'll just have to pay for the technology and the service and not have to pay somebody to be here to administer it. But yeah, a number of schools in there like ACGC and I think New Lemon Spicer, Bold, they utilize Wilmer Healthcare System to do that. All we need to have is computers available and somebody that's licensed to administer the test. So we're going to do it right here in the computer lab.
Todd.
Okay, we met last week, went to the board agenda, coordinating fundraisers, disciplinary reports that we collected, and then PCSE, EFEs, readiness reports, also doing the 15th. Information in your package, you've got the enrollment. There are no changes. Just give a recap. We started the year at 989, ended with 986 with an average of 980.42. So we bounced around a little bit during the school year, but pretty much ended where we started. So we didn't see movement, but overall stayed pretty consistent throughout the year. I asked Donnie to go ahead and put together just a summer project list. So I found that in your packet. Doing the kitchen, locker rooms, painting in elementary, painting out here at the high school. We're going to be doing tennis courts resurfacing in the summer, and then removing carpet, placing tile through the high school, 3 at the elementary. The elementary, they fixed the lights in there. When you walk in there, it's 10 times brighter than it ever was. We have to replace 5 or more boiler tubes in the elementary boiler, which has been leaking, and a couple boilers or coils at the middle school. And then, of course, our computer labs and then going wireless. So those are some of the main projects that will be happening this summer, along with the general maintenance and cleaning. I've also included, Jody sent me some updated graphs now on our referendum coming up this fall. Mine are out of order. Not sure which one. This one. Okay, so the first one you'll see is the total school levy on homes with taxable market value of 130. And Jody did check with our county auditor, said the average household in Paynesville here is 130. So you can see that Paynesville is the lowest at 348, and then Eden Valley the highest at 605. The next chart shows homestead, or ag homestead, of 500,000 includes a house, garage and 1 acre, property, just shows 1,000, no, it's low, but it just kind of shows the comparison of the commercial property. Paynesville's 401, once again, Eden Valley's the highest there at 709. So it's a nice comparison. And the last one on there was referendum. These are where everybody's currently at, and Corey and Albany are slightly lower than us, and then everyone else is a little higher than us. So, she also informed me that the website should be up and running, the middle of July. She should have that ready for us. Just some more information on that. Next, we've got, some information on the, food service did that, sample survey, and they sent over, the results of that, and kids go ahead and test out a bunch of things, they want you to share that with the board, so just put that in your packet there. And then the last thing in there is a flyer I received from Sheriff Fishbach, recapping the session, talking about what's happening in the education field. And our next board meeting is Tuesday the 26th, right back here at 8 o'clock. That's all I got.
Okay, is there anything else?
When are we gonna start, all the groups, so we're just push for this referendum? I think we should start getting groups together and start targeting.
Put the information together.
Yep.
So we have all the information now.
Yep, we have information on, so
For our calendars and stuff.
we should. I don't know what would be the best way to have a first open house first, and kind of go over it, and then start small focus groups, see if we can get some more.
Using those survey responses somehow, contact those people that are willing to still.
There were 75 people that said they'd be willing to.
Yep.
And,
Probably start with them.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep, maybe contact them first and sit down with the group of them and see once we're, you know, how many different groups that we can come out that spin off of that, so that we can start getting more and more people, even onesies and twosies or whatever it takes. But if we can identify 75 people that are willing to sit with somebody else or some other groups up there, you know, whoever they're hanging around with or whoever, you know, comfortable talking with.
Do you have facilities sleeping?
I don't.
No. We can see what's available for that. And this room is big enough.
So who wants, I mean, how do we proceed? Do we have, who should be contacting, what,
You have the addresses, right? Or you have the list? I have the list.
you need some of us board members to
Say what? The list. I have it. The 75 people. I know I have a copy of it. I'd like to wait until next week if I do it.
Right, no, I mean, I guess I just want that conversation, we need to start, because we're already pushing middle of June. And if we wanna make this happen, I think we need to start diligently every board meeting, at least comment where we are at, who we've been talking to, what's going on with it, whose focus group has been meeting, what is the response, so on and so forth. I don't know.
Can you send me a list of open dates for like the week of the 18th
Yeah,
for this room?
of July.
Should we get a little, do you want a little, should we just put a little small group together, or
We just
people
do.
together, just see if we can start calling people and trying to, or pick out a date? I mean, I think we need a small group, or a group to kind of first start it, and then, I think, I don't know. So,
Yeah, no, I think that, it's not too early.
no, I mean, just to start anyhow, get feelers out for, especially the 75 people, we can somehow,
You said
arrange
you
a.
got that list is this 75, well, you could break it up and give 10 to each one of us. And send it out, or have her, break it up, and we can contact that little group and set up to either, to start anyway.
And should we pick kind of a date that we can meet here as a group?
So kind of,
A
big a starting point, so we all have the same material, kind of give the same message. So what date would that
You
be?
have to find out when it's available.
Yeah, there's really nothing scheduled in here except board meetings,
The
so,
only thing we have to
anytime.
work around is when they're doing the hallway, and that we can schedule, so if you guys wanna schedule a date, we
Yeah.
can work around your date.
How does that work for us to all be here at the same time?
So why don't we, I guess for leaving tonight, I think we all should give maybe like Linda the days that would work, like next week or the week after, and then we'll set the time. I mean, I know a lot of us don't have our schedules with us, so, but if we can pick several dates and then email Linda,
He says it with a smile.
and then we can at least get a sense of what would be the best day, and then we can contact the individuals that we get on our list that is broken up, and go from there. Sound like a plan? Okay.
Okay, is there anything else? Okay,